Ooh, welcome back to a happy Victory Monday edition of Gangs All Here, our New York Jets podcast from the New York Post. Those highlights you heard are courtesy of CBS. Iron Eagle on the call, and a great call with Breece Lightning. Jake Brown here alongside my co-host Brian Costello. No guest today. And this episode of Gangs All Here is presented by Tri-State Cadillac Dealers. Visit your Cadillac showroom today. Guys, the Jets have now topped your win prediction total. They had tied it, and we had thought maybe they go, 0-11 the rest of the way, and your prediction's right. They have topped it. That's the good news. The bad news, of course, we cannot have nice things. Breece Hall likely out for the season as we record this late Sunday night. We'll know official word Monday, but anytime Saleh and everyone says it's not looking good and it's an ACL, it means he's done for the year. This is like, I don't know how to act, guys. Like, they're 5-2, they're playing great, but they just lost the guy that's carried the offense, for the last 4 or 5 games during this 4-game win streak. So it's a mixed glass case of emotions right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, Jake, like they play the Patriots next, right? What do we always say when the Patriots play someone? What Belichick wants to take away what you do best. So if Breece Hall was healthy this week, it would be, Belichick's going to try to take away Breece Hall in the running game. Well, it's hard to figure out now what the Jets do best on offense, right? Because I don't mean to rain on the parade. They're winning games. That's all that matters, right? They're 5-2, but offensively, they're challenged, and they won the game Sunday because Breece Hall broke that 62-yard run. That was their only touchdown, and that was the big part of the game, and it's been a big part of these last few weeks is Breece Hall, and he's been emerging as a rookie of the year candidate, and now he's gone. So the Jets are going to have to find other answers on offense, and maybe they can, Jake, but it's hard to see them right now what they are. Like, look, Michael Carter showed a lot of promise last year as a rookie. He's kind of taken a back seat this year. He can do some things, but right now the passing offense is not very good. They had 105 yards passing on Sunday again, so they're going to have to figure some things out here, and they've got a couple of good defenses coming up again.
Yeah, the good news is this: the New York Jets are 5-2. They're winners of 4 straight. They're very much in the playoff conversation. They're in second place right now at 5-2. One of the best teams in the AFC, one of the best teams in the league, despite how ugly the games have been, despite what the scores have been. The record shows what the record shows. And as we say every week, you don't apologize for wins in the NFL. So that's the good news. The defense was absolutely fantastic. Kaz, this secondary is something to drool about if you're a Jets fan. Sauce Gardner yet again locking
Yeah.
guys down. DJ Reed yet again looking like the great free agent signing that he's been. The safeties, LaMarcus Joyner, who barely played last year, got hurt that first game, didn't play again. Another pick, 8 interceptions on the season. They had 7 all last year. This defense is, this is why they get compared to the 09 Jets. Zach Wilson, Mark Sanchez, game manager. Defense does it. Run game does it. Now, part of that run game could be gone now, but Kaz, it's hard not to enjoy, as a guy who's covered the game for a while, you have to enjoy watching this kind of old school defense get to work, despite some dumb penalties in there mixed in.
Here's the thing, Jake. I'm not sure if it's good defense or bad offense, and how much each way, right? Brett Rippon is Brett Rippon.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
true.
here's the thing, because you find yourself, you're going, man, like
I feel like we're saying this every week with a quarterback.
right. Well, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. They've beaten some bad teams. They've beaten some bad quarterbacks. Like, even the Packers lost to the Commanders Sunday. So now that one, in hindsight, it's not as strong as it looked like last week. But here's the thing: like, who's good in the NFL?
Mm.
The Bills are good, and so we're gonna see the Jets face them in a few weeks. That's a test. Like, if the defense can shut Josh Allen down, now you got the 2009 defense. Like, that was the number one defense in the league. They shut people down. But other than that, who's good? The Chiefs look good. The Eagles look good. Everybody else is kind of a lot of mediocrity. Even if they're facing Tom Brady, you'd be like, yeah, Tom Brady's not doing good this year. So, the Jets and the rest of this year, they've got 2 games against the Bills. That's the only 2 games you look at and go, they are facing an elite quarterback in that game. Kirk Cousins is okay, but he's up and down. Everyone else is kind of like, eh. Like, so, yes, it's I think there's just a lot of bad offense around the NFL right now. But Sauce Gardner is the real deal. He is playing out of his mind. Just great in coverage, and DJ Reed as well. They've done a great job in coverage. I think it's going to be fascinating to see them against the Bills in a few weeks. That's the one. That's the litmus test to me to see how good this defense really is.
And the safeties too. I mean, Jordan Whitehead has been solid. I know he dropped what could have been a pick, although that would have been a tough diving catch. Yeah.
Tough catch.
I mean, him and Joyner was that veteran you brought to, help out with the youth here. He's been pretty solid out there.
Yeah, Joyner had some ups and downs today. The interception, he was the closest defender on that one big play they gave up early. I'm not sure if that was him or not. DJ Reed actually was talking about after the game that he had one blown assignment, so that could have been it. But they played better. They started off shaky this season, but they've been better. And obviously the front has been very good. And these linebackers just hit. Quan Alexander, big stop there. I think it was 3rd and 3. And he stopped Latavius Murray on that short pass play. We've seen them hitting all year. Alexander, Quincy Williams, CJ Mosley, I thought absolutely intercepted that ball at the end of the game. I don't know what the refs were looking at when they overturned that.
And how do you overturn it when you call it on the field? That didn't make sense. What conclusive evidence was there?
I know there was none. And so the linebackers have played well. And, the front was a little bit quieter today. I thought Rippon did a good job of getting the ball out of his hands quick. Obviously that was the game plan, but they've been great all year.
The Jets only sacked him once. Force him to throw 46 times. They contained the run decent. I know they ended up with 105, but Melvin Gordon was 11 for 33. It was just a lot of guys across the board. It wasn't one guy.
Yeah.
Like the Jets had with Breece Hall, although that all came on that 62 dynamic Breece lightning run. A great call by Ian Eagle you heard earlier in the show, but I can't even mention his name. It gets me so depressed because he was on track, Kaz, for Rookie of the Year. He was on track to be, the Thomas Jones of the 2022 Jets, who is now all over the acting map and the movie screens and Netflix. He was on track to be that workhorse. And now it's Michael Carter, who's 13 to 29. He had a couple big receptions. He had 2 for 45. As a receiver, when 45 yards, the leading Jets receiver. Just another stat sheet you want to just burn, but a win is a win that you don't really care. But
actually, Jake, here's the stat sheet that this is crazy to me how the Jets won this game. First downs, Broncos 21, Jets 10. Third down efficiency, Broncos 31%, Jets 21%, 3 of 14. Ugh. Total yards, Broncos 324, Jets 260. Jets had the edge in rushing. Passing yards, Broncos 219, Jets 105. Then you throw in Jets had 11 penalties in this game. Time of possessions, 32 minutes for the Broncos, 27 for the Jets. Total plays this one staggered me. Broncos 75, Jets 53. Broncos ran 22 more plays, and the Jets won the game. So that's impressive. They didn't turn the ball over again, although there were a few that probably should have been turnovers that weren't.
Zach was just flopping it around that one play where he was on the ground. He tried to throw it, could have got ugly.
Yeah, he does an amazing job of extending plays, right? It looks like he's going to get smoked, and he takes this little step and avoids it. It's just now the next step is knowing what to do when he extends the play, because sometimes he's throwing it back across the field and you're like, oh my God, what is he thinking? Or he does this little flip at the end when he's about to get killed that you're just like, he almost fumbled the ball in that one.
I want to say it looks good, but it really doesn't.
It doesn't. But avoiding the pass rush looks really nice. He's amazing at that part of it. He just has to figure out what to do with the ball when he extends the play. But yeah, these stats, like if you took away the score and just looked at the stats, you think the Broncos won this game. So, that says something about the Jets. If you're going to be a good team, you got to win games like this sometimes.
The game manager lives to see another week. The Jets are the road warriors, 4-0, best team on the road in the NFL, as they look to carry it home to MetLife Stadium in what will be a must-see game. Kaz, I'm going on Sunday, Jets Pats. We're doing the live podcast after the game, American Dream, House of Q. This game might get flexed. I think you're actually wrong because I looked it up from last week that the flexes start in week 5 this season is what I read.
I think the flex would have had to been done already though, Jake.
Okay. I thought it would be
I don't
done.
think you could do it this week.
I thought they would base it on what happened this week, so it might be
I thought
done
they usually
Monday.
do. I thought they usually did 2 weeks out, but I could be wrong. It's how it used to be, but I could be wrong. They couldn't flex it.
I
Monday,
hope they
guess.
don't. I want it to stay at 1 because we have the pod ready at 5, and I know you'd rather have 1.
Absolutely.
So that's always the more ideal route. But Zach Wilson, Josh, let's play after the game. He had an interesting choice of words when he talked about what he said to the huddle. Josh, let's play what he had to say.
How hard is it seeing Breece go down, especially with how well he moves well?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you see anyone go down, all those guys that kind of went down today, I didn't even know what was going on, but I'm just seeing the huddle. I'm like, geez, where are they at? And it's tough because with all of those guys, they're all great players, they're all balling, but it's unfortunately it's part of the NFL, right? And next man up mentality, and guys got to take advantage of their opportunities. But I'll check on those guys and make sure they're doing all right.
But so as you see those guys going down, like you said, you're looking around and do you feel like you have to say something to the guys, but we just got to keep moving forward, kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I said a little something there in the huddle. I mean, I don't feel like I need to, but I said a little something. Take advantage of this opportunity, step up. Time to grow a pair, I think is what I said, which I don't know if I should tell you guys that. But I think the guys got the message. The guys stepped up. This is my opportunity. It's where more money and playing time and things come for people is in those opportunities. So I think that was really cool. The guys stepped up right there.
He said, "I shouldn't have told you guys that." What do you think of him using that kind of words? Time to grow a pair, saying that.
Time to throw a touchdown. That's what I'd say.
Boom, roasted.
Well,
yeah,
I just have a tough time. Like you gotta play better to talk like that. So, they've gone. They're 4-0 with him back in the lineup, but it's three games without throwing a touchdown pass, which is pretty incredible.
They're almost defying logic, Kaz. With the
Giants
are too, but it's like the MetLife Stadium. Both teams are just 6-1, 5-2, but just some of the ugliest offensive football you've ever seen.
Yeah, and I said to someone, Jake, I remember talking to someone from the Jets this offseason. I'm like, you guys are due for some good luck at some point, right? And it's not all luck, but there's a little bit of luck involved, like schedule-wise, when you get injuries on the other team and not getting Russell Wilson was, I think, a break for them. The Jets are starting to get some breaks, which they're long overdue to get those for sure. It's been a long time since they've had things break their way, and they're starting to a little bit.
All luck, no break. Is that the new saying this year?
No, I don't think he would like saying all luck. It's not all luck. There definitely there's some skill here. I thought the Jets too showed something today, Jake. Teddy Bruschi, I was watching on ESPN this morning.
I was there. If you look in the background, Kaz, I was in the backdrop in this very Jets jersey. There I am. You could see me in the backdrop on NFL Countdown. How about that?
Wow. You have nothing better to do it. You have nothing better to do at your time than to go.
Oh, someone asked me to come down there. I was like, all right. I wanted to get on and be like Jets country, let's ride, but didn't make the cut. But Sexy Rexy was there.
Yes, yeah, blasting Elijah Moore. But Bruschi said, said something like, the Jets have shown they have ability. Now they have to show they have maturity, right? Because part of breaking through and going from being one of the worst teams to one of the better teams is handling success. And, this was a kind of a trappy type of game, right? Going to Denver, playing a good defense.
House of Horrors, like you called it.
Yeah, Rippin, kind of just was going to go out and do exactly what he was supposed to do and not take a lot of chances. And they showed something. And then we just mentioned Elijah Moore. That was a pretty significant distraction that popped up on Thursday.
Yep.
And
right after we released the show, of course.
Yes. And they handled it. So, and then we've talked about Breece Hall, Jake, but they also lost Elijah Vera Tucker in this game. Mm-hmm. They also lost Corey Davis in this game. So that's 3 pretty significant players on offense. And they handled the adversity pretty well. And so they showed a lot of maturity today.
All right, so let's talk about that because we didn't think it was much of a big deal. He was tweeting after that. He, doesn't go to practice. They excuse him for practice. He gets in the altercation with LaFleur. what do you do now? He's inactive this game. Do you bring him back? Is he back in practice, Elijah Moore, this week, Kaz? Do you try and trade him? Maybe trade him and get a running back in return now that you need one? What would you do here with Elijah Moore?
I absolutely would not trade him on 100. I mean, unless Kansas City calls and says, we'll give you Patrick Mahomes, maybe I'd do that. But I don't think that's happening. No, I wouldn't trade him. He's too good of a player to trade. I would, I wonder what it felt like for him to be sitting, in New Jersey on Sunday and watching the Jets play. You'd hope that would be a little bit of a humbling experience for him, and maybe he'd realize, the error of his ways of requesting this trade. And the trade deadline is November 1st, Jake, so they really have a week only to do it. So if I'm Saleh, I'm sitting him down on Monday and saying, where are we at here? Do you want to be part of this or not? And if he still has an attitude about it, and I'd sit him down this week. I sort of look at it like, what would Belichick do? Right? Belichick wouldn't trade him. Belichick would just sit on him. He would just keep him there until he's ready to play. And, there's only another week till the trading deadline. So that request is going to go out the window on November 1st, but I wouldn't trade him, Jake.
You also, Kaz, didn't have a lot of teammates backing him up. They weren't out there publicly saying a lot in support of him, which kind of is a sign to him saying, bro, what the hell are you doing? 6 games in, stop being, his numbers aren't terrible. You're winning football games. And then everyone reverted to the clip back last year where he said it was more important winning football games.
Yeah. So I think, Jake, when players have contract issues, teammates are always very supportive, right? The business side of things, everyone understands. Everyone wants players to get their money in the NFL because it can be gone in an instant. Contracts aren't guaranteed. So when you have situations like Revis back in the day, even Jamal Adams, where they're looking to get paid, I think teammates understand where they're coming from in that regard. Or, we've seen Debo in San Francisco go through it, or Jalen Ramsey in Jacksonville. This, he's not even eligible for a contract extension, Jake. He's in his second year. You have to play 3 years before you're eligible to get a contract extension. So, yes, are the lack of targets hurting his chances of getting a big contract down the line? Right now, if you're really, really short-sighted, but he's got a long way to go. So I don't think teammates will be supportive of him, just saying, oh, I want more catches. I want to be more involved. That's not going to fly. Look at today. Today is a perfect example. I think they could have used Elijah Moore, when Corey Davis goes down.
I mean, you had Denzel Mims out there for the first time.
Yeah, Breece Hall goes down. Yeah. And so I think they just have to convince him that his time is going to come. It was only 6 games before he hit the panic button. And I understand him being frustrated and upset and talking to his coaches, but demanding a trade is just ludicrous.
Yeah, and listen, like you said, he's in year 2 of a 4-year deal. He's getting about $2 million a year. I mean, the money situation isn't changing for a while. He's not getting a contract extension this year, next year, and might get it in the 4th year of the deal. That's it. He's not getting more money for a long time. So I'd say ride it out. And now it's a bad look. Now you think another team's going to really go all in on Elijah Moore after he demands a trade 6 games in. So he hasn't done much for himself to, want to go somewhere else. So we'll see. I think the smart move would be to apologize, just try and rejoin the team and be like, you know what? We're about to play the New England Patriots in the biggest game against the Patriots in maybe a decade for this team. I mean, the last time they were 5-2 was what? 2009, 2008, 2010. All right. So it's been 12 years since they've been 5-2, Kaz. If I'm him, I go back. But you got to think, are they going to accept him back? Is Zach going to seamlessly shake his head?
Yeah, they'll accept him back. Yeah, that won't be a problem, Jake. I don't think him coming back to the team would be an issue. I think guys they recognize he's a good player, and he hasn't done that much damage.
Yeah, I mean, if he comes back, man, this Breece Hall news, because you're 5-2 going to Patriots game. There's already a lot of hype, but I feel like a lot of Jets fans are pissed off about this. But a week till the trade deadline, Kaz, you're 5-2. You got to make a trade. You can't go Michael Carter and Ty Johnson. I like Michael Carter. I like Ty Johnson. I mean, you got to get a run.
Who are you going to get?
Is it Jeff Wilson from San Francisco now that they got McCaffrey? You go after him. Chuba Hubbard, the Panthers are selling right now. Do you go after him? Do you go after a guy you just played in Denver and try and get Melvin Gordon, a veteran? Not that he's great, but don't you think you have to get a running back? Like, you can't pick up a
I
guy
don't
off the
think you have
practice
to.
squad.
I like Michael Carter.
All
I
right.
think I go Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, and this kid Bam Knight, Jake.
The return, yeah.
He was legit in training camp, like
How
legit.
good of a story would that be? Because Jets
Yeah.
fans, him and Strevler were the kings of August.
Yeah,
If
but
Knight
like
was in
even
there,
like
it'd be cool.
I know Strevler, right? Strevler was doing stuff in the fourth quarter of preseason games, right? A lot of the guys he's facing are now bagging groceries. Knight was doing this like in training camp every day, where you're like, who is that kid? Like his moves were just fantastic. So,
So is he getting elevated here? Is he going
yeah,
to be the third running back?
He'll be the third running back. Yeah. So, do I think he's going to rush for 150 yards in his first game? No, but he's got moves and he can be a contributor. I think, once he gets acclimated to the game and the speed and everything, I think he can be pretty good. And so I think you're going to need the three of them to sort of combine to be to give you Breece Hall's production. You're going to try to get it out of three guys now.
All right, you reeled me back in. Bam. You reeled me back in, Kaz. I'm excited about Bam. I actually kind of forgot about him because he hasn't played.
He's been on practice squad. Yeah, I mean, if some great running back, I just don't know what you're giving up for a running back.
Fourth round pick, Jeff Wilson. Do it or no? Is that too high?
No, I would not do that. Yeah, I wouldn't. So yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. Joe Douglas likes to make trades at the deadline. We've seen him make a lot of moves for the year. So
they have to be buyers, Kaz, especially if you beat New England and you're 6-2. You can't sell to this fan base. We're going as is.
But the roster's good.
We did it with my Mets. Did they do anything good? No.
Baseball is a different animal completely, though.
I know the roster's good.
There's no buyers. There's not a lot of buyers in football in terms of at the trade deadline. Like it's not like baseball.
A playmaker, whether it's Chase
they
Claypool,
have enough.
a running back. I want one more.
They have a good roster. They have a good roster. Write it out. I mean, now if you could get a quarterback, I might do that.
Oh, here you go. The Zach Wilson hate train is real here in Gangs.
I kid.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're right though. He's got to throw a touchdown, and New England is no slouch. I know people think this is not your mom and pop's Patriots, which it's not, but it's still a decent team who will be fighting for a potential spot in second place with the Jets because they play the Bears on Monday night. We expect them to probably win that game, and it could be the 4-3 Patriots versus the 5-2 Jets. Oh, I cannot believe it. That is a must-go-to game. The Jets have been advertising, getting tickets for this. Let's hope the weather holds up, get a nice little weather game.
They've been wearing the same uniforms every week, but they wearing the black uniforms next week, right? Wasn't that supposed to be the thing for the Patriots game?
The
black helmets? The black helmets, right? That they showed in the offseason.
Are you a fan of those, or it is slimming? Black is slimming.
Yeah, I really they don't bother me. The only uniforms that ever bothered me were they wore those like neon green ones on like a Thursday night one time. You remember those uniforms?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Color Rush. They were Color Rush. They were horrible.
Yeah, I like the black ones are clean.
Yeah.
But blackout could be.
But how do you feel about them? They've been wearing the same these 4-game winning streak. They've worn the same.
You might have to just keep riding the same jersey if you're a superstition person.
They haven't worn green all year. They haven't worn green once.
Really? I haven't even paid attention to that. I don't know why.
They always wear white in the beginning of the year because it's hot. So they wear white at home and then they end up wearing white on the road. But yeah, so they haven't worn. But then once they wore white with the black pants in Pittsburgh, won, and they've been wearing them every week now.
Guys, here's why it doesn't matter. Woody Johnson would tweet about these damn jersey combinations every week. Now he's tweeting about winning football. The jerseys don't matter anymore.
You see Woody's quotes to Ian Rappaport?
What did he say?
He said it's like a symphony.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Dad jokes. Yeah. The Jets were riping. You hated that one. Riping for a win, and they got that. I actually saw Adam Schefter this morning for the first time. I saw Shefty down at ESPN. But Kaz, no jerseys matter right now. The Jets are just winning football games. Who gets your game ball from today?
Good question. Probably Sauce. I think Sauce would go with. Yeah, I mean, he was just ridiculous. And the play he made on that fourth down when they tried him was great.
Did you think it was interference?
Look, it was funny talking to Sauce after the game. He said the refs told them, we're letting you guys play today. And he
Really?
said they did. He said the receivers were pushing off, and he goes, and we were tugging on their, he's like, that's the way it works when they say you can play. And he brought up the play, Jake, where in the end zone, he thought he should have had an interception in the second quarter, where the play where Rippon kind of fumbled the ball, then came up and threw it, and Sutton pulled Sauce's arm down, and that's why he didn't get the interception. So I think they were calling a pretty loose game in terms of PI. By the letter of the law, it probably could have been called, but I thought in the spirit of this game, it shouldn't have been. It was a lot of hand. They were going back and forth, hand fighting there. But I thought he made a great play. I had 3 passes defensed. He had, I think, 10 tackles, something like that. He was all over the field. Yeah, he led the team with 10 tackles and then 3 passes defense. Like every game he's making plays. You wonder when quarterbacks are going to stop throwing at him, Jake. But the thing is, DJ Reed's playing great too. So it's really hard to find a weakness in this defense right now.
Since you're giving us Sauce, I'll give it to Reed. I think those 2 guys were the dudes. They were the guys. This wasn't the Quincy Williams game with 12 tackles. This was a cornerbacks game.
Is he him?
Is he? DJ Reed is the new him, because Garrett Wilson hasn't been him for a while.
He hasn't been him for a while. Yeah.
He had
Sauce is him. Sauce is him. I'm pretty sure Sauce is him.
Sauce is definitely him. Michael Carter's gonna have to be him now. How do we recover? Well, you go beat the Patriots and you forget about it and you move on. Injuries happen, but man, it's just every time the Jets give us good things, something bad is forced to happen. Breece Hall, I was going to get the jersey. You could have had a John Hall, the kicker. Now you got Breece Hall, Hall and Oates. And now Hall and floats. He was just so explosive. Why did it have to happen? I was hoping to be like a sprained knee or like an ankle sprain or something.
There's like a 1% chance on Monday it'll come back, Jake, and they say it's not an ACL, but I'd say it's a 1% chance. If the coach comes out after the game and says ACL, that means they're pretty sure about it, because they usually don't say anything if they think it's not going to be.
Well, that was the bad news. The good news is the Jets win 4 straight games. They aren't losing. They win this one in Denver, 16-9. The Broncos fall to 2-5. The Jets are now 4-0 on the road. It's a happy victory Monday. Kaz, I need to hear the 4 words from you to close it out.
Is it still a happy Monday, Jake, with Breece? I don't know.
Yeah, they won, so it's a subtle one. Yes.
I think, I don't know. I don't know if it's.
It's still worthy. A win is a win, and they topped your win total for the year, so you have to do it.
They did do that. I was wrong. Yet again, I don't know if I've ever gotten a season prediction correct ever. So, but yes, have a happy. What is that, Jake?
I was winding you up for the words. I was getting you excited.
Have a happy victory Monday, Jake.
Let's go
and enjoy those Yankees tears.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. My tweet blew up today. I said a chicken parm dinner was more expensive than a ticket to the game. Game 4. Yankee fans quitting on their team.
Why? There was a lot of tickets left?
Yeah, they were going on the secondary market for $20 for like decent seats. Actually, $20 for the ALC.
Well, because of the rain, right? I'm in Denver, rain though, right?
Well,
rain delay.
But that was as soon as they lost game 3, they went down. So Yankee fans quit, and then everyone was saying to me, "Oh, the Mets didn't sell out game 3 of the wild card." Listen, the wild card and the ALCS are 2 different animals. Come on. That's a ridiculous comparison. Anyways, you could hear
it's
about
football season in New York now.
6-1 Giants. David Tyree was on Blue Rush today.
That's Giants, Knicks
5-2, and the Knicks are back. Life is good here in New York for now, and let's hope we see a trade in the next week. I think Joe Douglas will do it. He will make a deal. He gets either running back or I think he's going to get a running back. But Bam Knight and all the preseason heroes, all the fans who celebrate watching preseason and the 8th string left tackle. Well, you're getting the Bam Knight show. And our guy Ty Johnson, he's on the show, Maryland product. I know a lot of fans hate him because he dropped a lot of balls, but he's not a bad backup. And
that's hate Ty Johnson.
There were some fans who were ripping him about why did he play or whatever. But again, preseason doesn't matter what he does. So Michael Carter, it's time to shine. And Elijah Vera Tucker, do we think that's a serious injury? Do we think he comes back?
I don't think it's serious, but an elbow is never good. So like he could miss some time. Well, I think we'll know more tomorrow. But I don't think it's super serious.
And what's George Fan? I haven't heard any update.
So
on
yeah,
his
no,
timeline.
we'll have to ask about him Monday. Because he can return this week. I have not seen him on the field though. Like usually you see guys like on the side field doing stuff. Like Dwayne Brown, we saw for 2 weeks was on the side field, and so you kind of knew he was ready to come back. I have not seen Fant at all. I haven't seen him in the locker room. I haven't seen him around. So we'll have to ask Salah about that though. He is eligible to come back this week, but I'd be surprised. I also don't know if they're, I guess if Vera Tucker's out, you want him, but if Vera Tucker's in there, do you mess with this line that you have a good thing going?
The Jets are limping their way into their Halloween weekend matchup with
How
the
do you
Patriots.
feel? Well, we'll talk about it later in the week, Jake. But are you nervous? Are you
About the Patriots?
Patriots, yeah.
More so now that Breece is out. If Breece was healthy, now I'm a little bit worried. I just feel a trade's coming though. I feel Joe's got something up his sleeve. I'm not nervous.
What do you think he's going to trade for? Like Juan Soto is not available.
He's not going to get that kind of guy, but a guy who could complement Carter. That's who I want. I don't want, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I do want Christian McCaffrey, but that didn't happen. Imagine, oh man, you imagine the Jets got Christian McCaffrey. You'd be putting in your Super Bowl parlays already at this point. 5-2.
They gave him a lot of picks. They gave him a lot of picks for him.
I know. Yeah, they did. But I would have done the same thing. But I mean, he always gets hurt too, so he's not liable. I'm not nervous. I think the Jets are riding high and they're finding ways to win games no matter how ugly they are. And we'll see who their quarterback is. But you're right. Not a lot of great quarterbacks on the schedule. And it's
not a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Jake.
Yeah, and you made a good point because when I looked at the standings, there is just a lot of mediocrity and below mediocrity.
There's three good teams. Right? Yeah. And then there's probably, I'm not looking at the standings, but there's probably 3 teams that are bad. Right? Texans are bad. The Bears are pretty bad. I know they won a couple games.
You're talking about the Jets schedule or overall?
No, overall.
Steelers are bad. Jaguars have lost 4 in a row. They're pretty bad. Yeah, Browns are pretty bad.
Browns I put in that mediocre category though. Like they're losing close games. But yeah, even the Jaguars I probably put in mediocre. There's a few really good teams, a few really bad teams, and then just a bunch of teams in the middle. And the Jets are near the top of those teams in the middle, so that's good. But it's amazing to me right now that the quality of football.
The New York Jets are not in the mediocre category. 5-2, they're in the elite category in the NFL. One of the best teams in the league. First time on the Gangs All Here podcast it's happened. We'll preview that matchup with the Patriots on Thursdays.
The Jets Giants Super Bowl, Jake. Would we be doing a joint podcast that week, or how will we handle that?
Yeah, we would have to see Paul Schwartz's availability and see if he's able. I think we can make that happen. I think we should have a crossover. Finally, that'd be the only way the Post is sending me to the Super Bowl.
Well, they send you to Arizona, Jake. That's the question.
If they make it, yes. So one of them, please make it.
Sitting in Astoria talking to us in Arizona.
No, I mean, if one of them makes it and they do not send me, I will quit my job most likely.
Whoa!
I will have to quit if I'm not sent to the Super Bowl. At least, get my $40 in expenses, get me like a McDonald's hash brown and call it a day for my expense report. But we're eating at Joe's Stone Crab of Arizona or whatever the hell's out there if it's one of these teams make it. So please do get me to the Super Bowl. It sounds like a GoFundMe for a guy that probably doesn't need a GoFundMe.